One.
Hello, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about another product from our foundational line, our Spirit line. And this is our SC12 Cell Restore product. And the 12 in this product stands for the amount of ingredients that we have in this wonderful product. And I will be going through the ingredients today and explaining to you why they're so important and why we have each one in this formula. So let's begin. Okay, so a product overview, just really quickly going through some of the main points for this product. So in each bottle of SC12, you do get a 30-day supply of our Cell Restore. And in this particular formulation, you are going to see herbal extracts, vitamins, bioflavonoids, amino acids, and other products or other ingredients to help support your natural stem cell production. And I will speak later as to what stem cells are and why we want to be working on supporting our stem cell production to begin with. So this product promotes healthy cellular renewal, and you will be taking one capsule twice daily with food. So generally what makes the most sense is you take one capsule with breakfast and then you take one capsule with dinner. The only way I would recommend something different is if you find maybe you're taking a bit too many supplements in one part of the day and you'd like to take it another part, but really those are the most beneficial times, I would say. So some of the key benefits: it supports your body's natural stem cell production. It promotes healthy cellular renewal, and our cells are renewing constantly on a daily basis. But there are things that will prevent how well our cells can renew. So this is something really important to support as we have cells in every single part of our body. It supports and maintains the immune system. It promotes clear, youthful skin. It helps increase energy levels and stamina. It is a heart healthy formula, and so it supports and maintains all dimensions of cardiovascular health. And it also feeds our cells with super nutrients for optimum function. And that is really one of our biggest goals, or should be one of our biggest goals daily, is making sure that we are feeding our cells with the best possible nutrients. This includes food as well, but supplementation is definitely in addition to just a healthy diet. So the three things that we are always asking ourselves before deciding to take a supplement. So why would you consider trying this product? Who is this product specially formulated for? And then ask the three questions that you want to ask to see if this product might be a product for you. So starting with our why. So why would you consider trying this product? So if you are looking for a natural product that works with your body's biological systems to maintain a youthful and energetic state from the inside out, so not only will you look youthful externally, but you will feel that same level of youth internally. If you lead a stressful and busy lifestyle and you can feel the impact of this on your body, again, both externally, so you might feel like you look tired and run down, and then also internally when paying attention to your energy levels daily. Next one, if you're looking to improve the health of your joints and skin, so important. I think we are all looking to improve the health of our joints and skin, especially as we get older. This becomes so important. If you notice that your wounds take longer than normal to heal or are recovering from a surgery, this is a beneficial product to take. And also, if you are looking to boost your energy levels, your stamina, and overall feelings of well-being to thrive daily. So if you just want to have more energy in your day-to-day life, feel like you can take on more in your day-to-day life, this is a very good product for you. Next, we have the who. So who is this product formulated for? So number one, individuals who are looking for a foundational natural supplement that enhances energy levels, maintains a youthful appearance of the body, and supports cellular health from the inside out. And that's really what this product is all about, is supporting your cellular health. And when you have strong cellular health, you will have higher energy levels. You will have a more youthful appearance, and you'll just feel like the best version of yourself. Next, we have individuals who aim to support the health and function of all tissues, organs, and systems in their body for a state of overall optimal health. Because again, we have stem cells, first of all, everywhere in our body, but second of all, the ingredients that we're using, they are multifaceted. So they target every part of our body in order to be able to support the health of every tissue, organ, and system. Individuals who lead busy, stressful lifestyles and are looking to improve their day-to-day stamina, I think that would be every single one of us on the planet. Individuals who frequently feel tired, lack energy, or feel burnt out. Individuals who are physically active. So if you are just getting onto a new workout regimen, or you have been on a workout regimen and you feel like it does tire you out more than you'd like, or if you'd like to just take it to the next level, this is a great product to add. And individuals who suffer from chronic illnesses. But in this case, I would say, just as with any supplement product on the market, make sure you consult with your primary care physician regarding the ingredients in the product, because they may be contraindicated depending on your illness, and depending on other medications that you might be taking. So that's always something important to consider with any supplement that you're taking. And then the ask. 3 questions to ask to see if this product might be for you. Number 1, am I looking to support the health of all systems in my body, from cardiovascular to skeletal to nervous system, to maintain a state of overall optimal health? Number 2, am I looking to feel more stamina and energy to tackle my daily tasks and still have enough left over for the pleasurable aspects of life? And number 3, am I looking for a natural product that supports joint, skin, and cellular health to support me in feeling my best from the inside out? So if any or all of these sound like you, this is a product that I would highly recommend adding to your supplement regime. Moving on to the key ingredients and features of this product. So the first thing that I do want to explain before we talk about ingredients is what stem cells are. So because this is a cellular restore product and it does focus on the health of our stem cells, it's important for us to know what they are and why they are so important, why there are so many products targeting, or why the research surrounding stem cells is now becoming more popular. So first thing to know, that it's estimated that the body is composed of 30 trillion cells. So think about that, how many cells we have in our body right now. And each of these 30 trillion cells are encoded with DNA that carry out a specialized function. So stem cells in particular are special human cells, which have the potential to develop into many different types of cells in the body. So they could develop into muscle cells, liver cells, brain cells, and they provide cells for the body as it grows. So they're also important because they serve as a repair system for the body. And this means that they play a very significant role in our healing process because they replace cells that have been damaged or lost in the body. And there are 2 main types of stem cells, and those are embryonic cells and adult stem cells. And before we move on to that, you can see a diagram there, right? So we have that little diagram of our stem cells, and it shows you there what are some of the possible things that they can change into. So it could be a liver cell, it could be a muscle cell, but also we have cells in our blood. So it could be a variety of different blood cells. So they are really necessary for every part of our body. So going back to our 2 types of stem cells. So the embryonic stem cells, they come from embryos that are 3 to 5 days old. And they are pluripotent, which means that they can divide into more stem cells and they can become any type of cell in the body. So this has been really important in scientific research today because they are being used to regenerate or repair diseased tissues and organs. Now, adult stem cells, which are the other type of stem cell, they are found in small numbers in most adult tissues, such as bone marrow, skin, and brain cells. And they will generally only regenerate into the same type of cell. So a liver cell will regenerate into a liver cell, a muscle cell will regenerate into a muscle cell, and they are also found in the blood. So one type of adult stem cell that can differentiate into other types of cells is the mesenchymal stem cell. So initially it was only thought to be found in the bone marrow, but since its discovery, it has also been found in other parts of the body as well. And because they are initially undifferentiated, they can become many other kinds of cells in the body. So they can differentiate into neurons, into bones, cartilage, muscles, fat tissue. And this is something amazing because, again, the body can decide where it needs those stem cells and it can direct them there. So something to remember, just like with anything else in our body, as we get older, we naturally have less stem cells in our bank to draw from. And so this is where a supplement can be one way that we can support the natural production of stem cells. And this is by giving it specific nutrients, which can provide stem cells with the most optimal environment to grow in. And we can also support their natural ability to reproduce, which allows for a higher production of stem cells. And this leads to greater renewal of healthy cells in the body. So really, we are trying to keep our cells healthy for as long as we can. And we can support more production of stem cells than they might be able to do on their own. So our first ingredient in our cell restore is the reishi mushroom extract, otherwise known as Ganoderma lucidum. So this is a very potent medicinal mushroom. It's also known as lingzi, which is also called the herb of spiritual potency in China. So that in itself, you can just imagine all the benefits that this mushroom has. So it's usually found on the base or stumps of dead or dying hardwood trees, and sometimes even can be found emerging from shallow underground tree roots. So it's been mainly foraged in various hot or humid locations in Asia, as well as the South Pacific, Southern Europe, and Southeastern US and Canada. So it can be found in many forests throughout the US. I know here in Canada, because I live in Ontario, we do have reishi mushrooms here, and you can actually forage for them yourself. So it's been recognized as a medicinal mushroom for over 2,000 years. It was mentioned in the Materia Medica, which is a very important medical book or literature that was developed in the Eastern Han Dynasty of China. And in this book, it was noted for its ability to replenish your qi or qi, which is basically your vital energy. It's known to ease the mind, to relieve cough and asthma, to strengthen cardiac function, to increase memory, and also to provide anti-aging effects. And something that you might notice in general with Esprita's supplement lines and with certain other lines as well is that mushrooms have quite a great presence in some of the products. And it has been found through research that mushrooms actually have a closer DNA structure to humans than they do to plants. So that is something that's really important to note. And I think this is why the popularity of mushrooms have increased so much over the years in terms of their supplemental and therapeutic benefits, because they actually are genetically so similar to us. So their benefits can really benefit us as well. So reishi mushroom has also been used to control blood glucose levels, to modulate the immune system, and to support and protect the liver. So it is known as an adaptogenic plant. And so again, going back to some of the other products that we've talked about, adaptogens are really great for the body because they really give the body what it needs and they meet the body where it's at in terms of whether it's immune system, it really is able to support you in the way that you need it. And wild lingzi was rare in the years before it was cultivated. And so only nobility could afford it at that time. And I think that also kind of boosted its popularity because it was hard to get. And so again, this might be why it was associated with success and well-being at that time, because it was only really the upper class that were able to gain access to it. So some of the main constituents of this product are polysaccharides, peptidoglycans, and triterpenes. And so today I'm going to focus specifically on the F3 glycopolysaccharides, which are an important component of this mushroom. And so these are important because they are found to exercise the most effect over stem cell activity. And particularly, they exercise a lot of influence over the mesenchymal stem cells. And those are adult stem cells that are found in bone marrow, and they are important for making and repairing skeletal tissues, such as cartilage, bone, and fat that is found in the bone marrow. And then the other stem cells that they exert a lot of influence over are the hematopoietic stem cells. And these are important because these are immature stem cells that are found in the body, and they can develop into all types of blood cells. So these are particularly relating to the blood. So this can be white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets. They all come from these stem cells. So something important about these F3 glycopolysaccharides is studies have found that they can promote adipose tissue mesenchymal stem cell aggregation. And so this is important because adipose tissue derived stem cells, they are stem cells with the capacity for self-renewal and also for multi-potential differentiation, which means that they can differentiate into many different kinds of cells. So being able to promote this aggregation of these cells allows for basically more production of those cells within the body. And also F3 glycopolysaccharides are known to increase cell surface adhesion molecules. And cell adhesion is crucial in the development and maintenance of tissues. So it is important to have more of these cells and to also increase the surface of the cell. Furthermore, in stem cell cultures, F3 was found to enhance the survival and renewal abilities of hematopoietic stem and progenitor cells. So progenitor cells are basically their descendants of stem cells, and they can then further differentiate to create specialized cell types. So again, having more of these cells, allowing these cells to survive within our body and to renew within our body, it allows for then the body to be able to renew certain cells that are maybe not at their best health or that have been damaged through various processes, whether they're internal or external processes. So another thing is that F3 glycopolysaccharides, they promote the dendrite growth of blood mononuclear cells, and they exhibit cytokine and chemokine-like functions, which are beneficial to human stem cells because they modulate CAM expressions and biological activities. So cytokine and chemokine-like functions, when we look at cytokines, these are involved in inflammation within the body. So when we have inflammation, we will have this production of cytokines. They'll go to that particular site where there's been damage, and part of healing the damage will be that initial inflammation, but it also modulates the amount of inflammatory cytokines that are produced so that it isn't an overwhelming amount in the body. And this polysaccharide also possesses anti-angiogenic, so basically meaning that it prevents the growth of blood cells in relation to tumors, and immunomodulating functions. So immunomodulating, again, this goes back to the idea of basically being adaptogenic, where it works with the immune system where it's at, whether it has to tamper down the immune system or whether it has to boost the immune system, whichever is needed is how this glycopolysaccharide will function. And it promotes stem cell homing for better human tissue protection, which reduces disease progression. So in addition to the benefits that it has on stem cells, it's also known as a liver tonic, and it has many hepatoprotective properties. So in China in particular, it has been used for thousands of years to protect the liver and to protect against liver disease. And the liver is, I would probably say, one of the most important organs in the body just because of how much work it does for the body. So having a healthy liver is so crucial to having overall health in the body. So because the liver is the second largest organ, it is responsible for many digestive and detoxification processes. And especially with the environment that we live in today, our liver can be greatly impacted by environmental and emotional stressors, by eating processed foods, by excessive lifestyle habits. And so really we need to have support for our liver, not only through lifestyle choices that we make, through the diet that we eat, but also having supplements to support how our liver functions. So by being able to reduce some of these external impacts and providing our liver with support, it can better detoxify, it can better methylate, and it can regenerate and produce more energy daily. So part of the reason why reishi is so supportive to the liver is because of its antioxidant properties. And we have talked about oxidation with many of our other products, but our body naturally produces oxidative products daily. And so we do need antioxidants to be able to kind of mitigate the oxidation that is naturally happening. As well, the presence of triterpenes within reishi, this inhibits the activation and proliferation of certain liver cells that can lead to liver disease. So while triterpenes can contribute to its ability to treat conditions like hepatitis, the presence of the antioxidant superoxide dismutase also provides hepatoprotective effects in the presence of liver injury. So this is a very important antioxidant that is found in reishi mushrooms. It's also known to modulate both phase 1 and phase 2 liver enzymes. So our liver has 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Everything that our body detoxifies goes through those 2 phases. So really they have to be functioning optimally in order for our liver to detoxify optimally. So having reishi support these 2 phases, it will help to support detoxification of harmful substances in the body. And it will basically just, with its support, take the burden off the liver if it is struggling with doing so. And then lastly, reishi also enhances DNA and protein synthesis post-injury and cell in animal studies, which includes cells in the liver. So also very important. Moving on to our next ingredient is spirulina. So in this product, you will find whole cell spirulina, and this is a very unique blue-green microalgae, and it's classified as a cyanobacteria. So what this means is that it has no cellulose wall, and this allows for the bioavailability of nutrients to be very high because the body doesn't have to work hard to break down and absorb the nutrients since it doesn't have to break through a cell wall. It is also one of the oldest life forms on Earth, growing in warm water, alkaline volcanic lakes for the last 3.5 billion years. So it's been around for quite a long time. Some habitats where it can be found currently are in the Pacific Ocean near Japan and Hawaii, large freshwater lakes like Lake Chad in Africa, I don't think I'm going to say this properly, but Lake Texcoco in Mexico, and Lake Titicaca in South America. And it possesses a unique ability to thrive in conditions that are much too harsh for other algae, and was long known as the superfood in ancient traditional cultures like the Aztecs. So spirulina really is a superfood. It has so many benefits to it. And even back in that time, so thinking back to the ancient Aztecs, it was used at that time as an endurance booster. So the kingdom's messengers, they used it to sustain their marathon runs, and it was also known to treat various diseases. It contains significant amounts of proteins, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, beta-carotenes, and essential fatty acids. So it's really, it has everything that the body needs. And the amount of powerful nutrients that it contains, for example, a range of B vitamins, A, E, and C, and then also important minerals like calcium, magnesium, manganese, and potassium, those basically contribute to it being an immune supporting powerhouse. And spirulina also has 31 times more antioxidant activity than immune boosting superfoods like blueberries. And this antioxidation capacity can support cellular health and immunity. It also has more beta-carotene than carrots. So there's a lot within this particular ingredient itself that can support the body's cell health in so many different ways. And what makes it special is that it contains a powerful plant-based protein called phycocyanin, which gives the algae its blue-green color. And research has shown that this plant-based protein has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and pain-relieving and brain protective properties. And this particular protein, along with other polysaccharides, has positive specific effects on our immune function, and it does this by enhancing bone marrow reproduction, thymus growth, and spleen function. So these are all very important parts of our body that support our immune system. And also this protein upregulates key cells and organs of the immune system, improving their ability to function in spite of stress from environmental toxins and infectious agents. And so because we are in our day-to-day lives surrounded by environmental toxins, and because infectious agents are all around us in the form of, let's say, bacteria and viruses, having something that strengthens our immune system against these things is crucial. It also enhances white blood cell production, and it can significantly increase the function of our natural killer cells. So phycocyanin also inhibits the release of histamine, making it anti-inflammatory. So when we produce a lot of histamine in our body, then that can lead to us having that allergic reaction. So we can, parts of our skin can become red where the area is inflamed. We can find ourselves sneezing a lot. We can find our eyes watering. So all of these are considered an after effect of the release of histamine. So having something like this to mitigate that is very beneficial. It also acts on the body's absorption of cholesterol. It helps keep the arteries clear, and this reduces the strain on your heart, which would be leading to heart disease and clots. It also reduces triglyceride levels, which can contribute to hardening of our arteries, increasing the risk of heart disease and diabetes. So we really want to keep we want to keep our whole cardiovascular system healthy because everything is so connected, and an ingredient like spirulina can do that. It's also considered to be one of the most alkaline foods, and this makes it very beneficial to restoring the body's pH balance back to healthy neutral levels. And this will also prevent inflammation, disease, and aging, because if we have too much acidity in our body, whether it's from the foods that we eat, whether it's from environmental stressors or internal stressors, this can lead to disease and it could lead to aging. So we want to have things that will balance that out. So the next ingredient that we have here is our bilberry extract, and we have the fruit, and you can see from the picture, it looks a lot like blueberries. It has very similar qualities to blueberries, but this particular fruit, it's found in Northern Europe, and it's also found in parts of North America and Asia. It's basically known as a European whortleberry, blueberry, huckleberry, or blueberry. And the name is actually derived from the Danish bolbar, which means dark berry, and you can see that from its color. And so it contains a lot of phenolic compounds, such as flavonols, one particular one being quercetin. It also contains tannins and phenolic acids. But the anthocyanins contribute to the largest phytochemical component of this berry. So the phenolic compounds are also what give it its blue color. So as one of the richest natural sources of anthocyanins, this polyphenol is what gives bilberries their color and high antioxidant profile. So because it has such a high antioxidant profile, some of the things that it can help support is naturally lowering blood glucose, having anti-inflammatory and lipid lowering effects, and also promoting antioxidant defense and lowering oxidative stress in the body, which contributes to aging, first of all. And second of all, it really contributes to our cell health as well. So we want to lower the amount of oxidative stress that we have in order to have optimal cell health. And the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects of bilberry are very significant in preventing cardiovascular disease. So atherosclerosis, which is actually the main contributor to CVD, is an inflammatory process which is associated with oxidative processes in and damage to the vascular endothelium. So the vascular endothelium is basically a layer of cells that constitutes the inner cellular lining of the arteries, veins, and capillaries. So the usage of bilberry as a cardioprotective substance has been very beneficial to this condition. So it really keeps our arteries, veins, and capillaries healthy. It keeps them young, and it keeps them from hardening. And this is really important to cardiovascular health. In addition to that, studies have shown that bilberry can positively influence significant inflammatory biomarkers like C-reactive protein. So usually when we go to the doctor, one way that we can check the level of inflammation in our body is by the presence of C-reactive protein. So we want to keep that marker low. And bilberry is one way that we can do that. So controlled human studies have also shown that subjects who take a daily supplement of bilberry are able to improve their platelet function, lower blood pressure, and also to lower high density lipoproteins. So that's HDL cholesterol. And this is the cholesterol that we want to keep low in our body. So we have HDL and LDL, and HDL is the one that we want to keep lower. Also, the berries and leaves of bilberry are reported to have anti-diabetic properties, and they have been used for centuries to ameliorate diabetic symptoms. And again, this goes back to the anthocyanins in the berry, which are said to increase insulin secretion and glucose transport. So it helps, first of all, to secrete insulin into the body, which is important for lowering glucose levels. And then by shuttling the glucose into our cells, it prevents them from floating around in our body and from leading us to have higher blood sugar levels. In addition to that, studies have shown that daily intake can improve insulin sensitivity. So we want our body to be sensitive to insulin because then it can do its job properly in lowering our blood sugar levels. And it also leads to lower serum glucose levels. The last thing that this berry does is, or the last thing that's important in kind of finding the connection between how bilberry works in the body and its effect on diabetes, is that it helps lower obesity levels. And obesity is known to be a strong predisposing factor to type 2 diabetes. So using berry polyphenols has been shown to prevent obesity by inhibiting digestive enzymes such as lipase, which lowers fat absorption. The next berry that we have in this product is known as the Lycium barbarum extract. And another name for that you might have heard more frequently is the goji berry. So Lycium is most frequently known as goji berry to us in North America, and you might actually see the berry. You can purchase it, put it in your smoothies, you can put it on your oatmeal, but you can also buy it in supplement form. And this berry has been used as a medicinal herb and food supplement for over 2,000 years. So it's another product that's found mainly in East Asia, particularly South China, Korea, and Japan. And it goes by other names such as wolfberry and boxthorn. So in traditional Chinese medicine, there have been many uses for it, such as treating dry cough, infertility. But in addition to that, what it's known for today is its potent anti-aging abilities. So it is known, for example, to counteract the premature graying of hair, which I think something that is beneficial as we get older, of course. And also if we are living in stressful environments, which is something that many of us are. The leaves, fruit, and root bark of goji berries contain abundant polysaccharides, carotenoids, flavonoids, sterols, anthocyanins, and essential oils that have very strong antioxidant properties that contribute to anti-aging. So all of these components work together. And the polysaccharides in goji berry are known to scavenge free radicals and to reduce oxidative stress reactions, which are believed by some through research to be the main contributors to aging. So if we can mitigate the levels of free radicals in the body, if we can reduce oxidative stress reactions, then we can slow the aging process. And LBPs can be used to compensate for the decline in total antioxidant capacity, immune function, and activities of antioxidant enzymes. Antioxidant enzymes are used in the body to protect against the damaging effects of reactive oxygen species. And reactive oxygen species are produced in our body daily. So it's part of the result of mitochondrial function. And if we have too many reactive oxygen species in our body, then we have more oxidative stress and damage. And so in addition to that, they can modulate the physiological effects of ROS, thereby contributing to healthy cells and to the longevity in the body. So even though ROS is natural, we all have these reactive oxygen species in our bodies. When the amount of these species is higher than the amount of antioxidants that we're able to create, that's when this imbalance can lead to a speeding up of the aging process. Goji berries also have a number of significant phytonutrients such as zeaxanthin, beta-carotene, and phenolics. And phenolics in particular have qualities that are also anti-inflammatory and anxiolytic. So that means that they are supportive of anxiety or helping to support anxiety. And they prevent against diabetes and obesity. This berry also has a very rich micronutrient profile. So these are nutrients such as B vitamins, copper, magnesium, manganese, and selenium. And these nutrients are all crucial for our body to be able to function properly. All of our cells need these nutrients in order to be able to function. Our next ingredient on the list is hyaluronic acid, otherwise known as hyaluron. So hyaluronic acid is a glycosaminoglycan, which is a sugar that occurs naturally in the body, and it's one of the main components of our extracellular matrix. So it has been studied for its significant role in a variety of biological processes that involves cell migration, proliferation, and differentiation, and it supports wound healing and inflammation in the body. So you might see a lot of products in supplement stores that have hyaluronic acid, whether they are topical skincare products or whether they are supplements. And this is because it really is known to promote not only cellular health externally on the body, but also internally. And hyaluronic acid is found abundantly in our connective tissues and is present in high concentrations in the synovial fluid of our joints, vitreous humor, hyaline cartilage, and umbilical cord. And part of its function is to retain water. So this allows tissues to stay well lubricated and moist. And you will also find it in higher concentrations in areas of the body where there is damage and repair needed. And so as we get older, we do have less moisture in our tissues. And this is where we sometimes have kind of joint issues, but also our skin might start to look dry. And so having a product such as this is really supportive for any condition having to do with skin health or joint health. Hyaluronic acid helps wounds heal faster, and it does so by regulating inflammation levels and signaling the body to build more blood vessels in those damaged areas. And because it's a significant regulator of cellular behaviors, it can positively influence stem cell growth. So again, going back to the production of stem cells for areas of the body that need them the most, especially where there's damage or where there is disease. So stem cells in our body, they have the unique ability for self-renewal, and they can mature into different cell types. And this is what we discussed in the beginning of the video. This allows them to play a significant role in tissue regeneration and the treatment of various diseases. So this is where hyaluronic acid comes in. It's been found in higher concentrations in areas of the body where stem cells are present. And this has led researchers to believe that hyaluronic acid may have a significant influence on stem cell function, because if it is traveling to these areas where stem cells are the most prevalent, then it must be working with them in the regulation and regeneration process. It has also been found to bind to various cell receptors in the body, and it can send messages to cellular activities. So a low dose of hyaluronic acid applied to stem cells can actually impact the proliferation process. And then lastly, because oxidative stress disrupted mitochondrial function and mitochondrial damage can promote aging, cell death, and functional failure and degeneration in a variety of tissues, the application of hyaluron to any of these areas of the body can actually improve mitochondrial function by improving all of these various processes. So we do want to have healthy mitochondria, as they do create energy for the body, and they are responsible for so many processes in the body. So having an ingredient such as this is very helpful for that. The next ingredient that we are looking at is L-carnosine. And so this is a dipeptide, which means it's a combination of 2 amino acids, and these are beta-alanine and histidine, which are linked together. And it's found in areas of the body where there are high energy demands, such as the brain, the heart, and our muscles. Generally, what we find is that young organisms have high levels of carnosine in energy demanding tissues, but then as we age, its presence in these areas declines naturally. And this is both because the body will produce less of it, and whatever is left is also more vulnerable to destruction. It has been shown to slow the aging of human cells in culture dishes. So when scientists observed the impact of carnosine on young cells versus the controls, they found that the latter develops the typical old appearance over time, while the former maintained their youthful appearance. And when they took old cells and placed them in a culture dish with high concentrations of carnosine, they rapidly became rejuvenated to resemble young cells. And then on the other flip side, if they took young cells and took them out of this culture dish and put them into just a regular control, they saw that those cells actually began to age faster. So this shows the impact of carnosine on the health and vitality of cells. It targets 6 major processes involved in the aging process, some of these being oxidation, glycation, and mitochondrial dysfunction. So when we're looking at glycated proteins, the process of glycation is basically when a sugar molecule stops circulating and it binds to a protein, for example, collagen, and this will actually destroy the function of that particular protein. And we don't want that happening in the body because proteins are responsible for so many important functions in the body. So when there are glycated proteins, this will induce potent oxidative stress and trigger inflammatory processes in the body that will quicken the aging process. And glycated proteins also form crosslinks that bind together, and this reduces their youthful flexibility and function. So what carnosine actually does is it will take the sacrificial hit and it will get glycated itself in order to spare other vital structures and prevent protein cross-linking. So instead of that protein getting glycated, carnosine will get glycated instead. So that will maintain the health of the protein. And then mitochondrial dysfunction, that can also speed up aging by depriving cells of the needed energy, because mitochondria is where energy is created in the body. And this will add to their oxidative burden as mitochondria become less and less efficient. So what carnosine does here is it alleviates all of these changes, especially in brain cells, which can be affected by neurodegenerative diseases. So maintaining health anywhere in the body where we have protein, which is everywhere, the brain being one of those places, but also we're looking at other muscles such as our heart muscles, we're looking at liver, anywhere throughout the body, we will see the benefit of L-carnosine there. In general, proteins in the body need to be healthy in order to prevent the onset of degenerative diseases and premature aging. And because they are the most responsible for the daily function of living organisms, having something like carnosine as a supplement, it's the only antioxidant that can prevent protein damage. And this is either through the prevention of cross-linking of advanced glycation and products, as we said, or taking that sacrificial hit. Carnosine is also able to extend the period of time that cells can divide in a youthful manner, and it can rejuvenate cells approaching the end of the life cycle of dividing cells. So it's just basically keeping cells healthier for a longer period of time, and it's preventing cells from reaching the end of their life cycle faster and prolonging their health and their youth. The next two ingredients that we have here are rose hips and L-theanine. And rose hips are basically pseudofruit, and they come from the Rosa genus in the Rosacea family. And this particular genus contains over 100 species, which are widely spread across Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and North America. And this particular fruit or pseudofruit, they have a high level of bioactive compounds like polyphenols, vitamin C, E, B, and carotenoids. And this leads to increased antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial activity. And the above mentioned antioxidants, they were shown to also play a significant role in protecting the body against the damaging impacts of reactive oxygen species and also reactive nitrogen species, which contribute to inflammation and tissue damage. And then we have L-theanine. So this is a very unique non-protein amino acid that is found in green tea, white tea, and black tea. And it has the same structure as an amino acid, but it isn't used as a building block like other amino acids are to make proteins. But the benefits or the functions of L-theanine are that it can positively impact the key neurotransmitters that are involved with stress, sleep, mood, focus, and memory. And so this is, of course, very important in order for us to have optimal function throughout the day. And for example, with things like sleep, we need to have proper sleep in order to be able to regenerate all of our cellular processes while we are sleeping. They are really important for muscle repair, everywhere in the body. So making sure that you have optimal sleep is very important. So L-theanine also enhances the production of neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, and it can play a role in the formation of GABA, which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that relaxes us. And since serotonin is also needed to make melatonin, if you have healthy levels of serotonin, then you can make melatonin, and this will help with your sleep cycles. It's also known to increase brain alpha waves, which are markers for relaxation, and to decrease brain theta waves, which are associated with stress. And due to its ability to increase brain chemicals that promote feelings of calm and decrease those that are linked to stress and anxiety, it can protect the brain against stress and age-related damage. And this is something that we are seeing more and more of today, is that need and necessity to protect the brain because of all the environmental stressors that it encounters daily. And the benefit of L-theanine is that it gives us that feeling of calm alertness. So even though it calms us, it's not a sedative, it doesn't make us sleepy, it just makes us feel balanced. The next ingredient that we have on our list is vitamin D3. And so this particular vitamin, or this particular version of vitamin D, it's the animal-based form. And it's really, vitamin D3 is known to be more of a hormone than a vitamin. When it's ingested as a food source, it is absorbed through the intestinal walls, and there it is mainly taken to the liver to be used or stored. And it can be stored also in our skin, in our brain, our spleen, and our bones. And it's responsible for really too many functions to name here, because it really does almost everything. But some of the ones that are noteworthy are it supports cellular health, cardiovascular health, calcium absorption, and also bone development. And it positively influences cellular health by affecting cell proliferation and differentiation. It modulates different processes, including cell apoptosis, cell cycle progression, and differentiation in cell-specific manner. So these are all important things for the cell cycle. It has also been reported to repress cell cycle progression in unhealthy cells to prevent them from mutating. So for example, in stem cells, cell cycle arrest occurs as a survival mechanism to ensure that cellular integrity of actively dividing cells. At this point, the stem cells may try to correct any errors that occurred in the previous division cycle. So that way they don't just keep dividing and building out of control. Vitamin D has also been studied for its positive effect on cardiovascular health. And because the heart is basically a large muscle, like skeletal muscles, it has receptors for vitamin D. It is known to keep arteries relaxed and flexible, which is really important for preventing atherosclerosis. And it also regulates immune and inflammatory cells that play a role in cardiovascular disease. So for example, in one study where 50,000 healthy men were followed for 10 years, those who had the lowest levels of vitamin D were twice as likely to have a heart attack as those that were found to have the highest levels. And then our last two ingredients in our SC12, we have vitamins B9 and B12. So B9 being folate, and then B12 is methylcobalamin. So these two vitamins are both water soluble, and they are responsible for a wide range of benefits. And again, going back to what water soluble means, that means that they are basically excreted through our urine. And so they are processed daily. And so we need to keep taking them every single day in order for our body to be able to utilize them. So the range of benefits for these vitamins are neurological function, DNA production, proper cell division, and the formation of red and white blood cells. They are also both used to convert food into fuel, so carbohydrates into glucose, and this is our primary and quickest energy source. Folate is important for red blood cell formation and also for healthy cell growth and function. It's also important in the formation of DNA and RNA, as well as the metabolism of amino acids in the body. And it's also needed for proper methylation function in the body. And this process is extremely essential. It's very important to support our methylation function because it helps regulate the activity of our cardiovascular, neurological, reproductive, and detox systems. So if you aren't able to methylate properly, then your body will also have a hard time detoxifying. Folate particularly is known for its positive effect on neural tissues. So the nervous system is sensitive to its impact, and deficiencies in folate have been associated with neurodegenerative diseases. And this is especially alongside high homocysteine levels. And then vitamin D, B12 is essential for red blood cell formation, and it helps prevent anemia. It's also known to maintain bone health and by supporting a normal bone mineral density. And this is another vitamin that's also important in supporting cognitive health because it prevents the loss of neurons in the brain and it prevents brain atrophy. And these two vitamins also work really well together, as do most B vitamins. It's usually helpful to be taking more than one B vitamin because they will boost the function of each other. But these two in particular work together to lower homocysteine levels in the body. And homocysteine is a sulfur-containing amino acid that can cause artery damage. It can cause blood clots, cardiovascular disease, if levels are too high. So this is another marker of high inflammation in the body. And the last category we are looking at today is lifestyle and tips. I always like to, aside from talking about the benefits of supplementation, to also talk about how we can boost the functions of some of these processes in our body naturally. So there are ways that we can, in our day-to-day lives, support stem cell health. And I will be talking about 6 of these today. So the first way that we can support healthy stem cells is to avoid intake of refined and overly processed carbohydrates. So a diet that is high in these carbs is going to lead to elevated levels of triglycerides, which contributes to conditions like metabolic syndrome, and it also inhibits stem cell growth. So refined and overly processed carbs are usually white carbs. That's a simple way of looking at it. Or if you are looking at something that you're buying like bread or crackers, looking at the ingredients that are there will generally help you. If you're seeing white flour, if you're seeing sugar, etc., then those are things that you want to have in lower amounts. The next way that we can support stem cell health is through exercise. So stem cell proliferation is enhanced with aerobic exercise, which helps cells turn into bone instead of fat. And exercise also activates stem cells in the muscles. The third way is to reduce intake of processed sugars. So this is kind of going along with what I mentioned in number 1. So excess glucose consumption can lead to metabolic syndrome and inflammation in the body, and reducing sugar can improve stem cell activity and longevity. So we, of course, want to reduce the amount of inflammation that we have in our body because this does impact the health of our cells. One of the kind of newer studied ways of helping support stem cells is through cold therapy and intermittent fasting. And so studies have shown that cold therapy can encourage mesenchymal stem cells, which are found in the bone marrow, to create brown fat, which is the good fat. And so cold therapy is basically either doing a cold shower, so ending your shower in a cold shower, or doing cold dips if you have a pool or a lake. You don't have to do it for a very long time. So each day you can do about, the kind of beneficial number is about 2 minutes. So once you hit 2 minutes, anything higher than that, but you can always start with a lower number and then increase. And intermittent fasting is known to increase the number of stem cells circulating in the blood and to also lengthen the lifespan of organs. So again, also make sure that this is something that works for you. So as with any practice, it might work really well for one person. It might not work as well for somebody else. So maybe intermittent fasting is not the thing for you, or maybe cold therapy is not the thing for you. These are just suggestions, but make sure you are really listening to what your body is telling you when you are trying new processes. The next one, number 5, minimizing inflammation in the body. So this is very, very important because inflammation inhibits stem cell activity and it reduces the production of therapeutic factors. So minimize the ingestion of inflammatory foods and substances. This is number 1. Try to have them in smaller amounts. Of course, sometimes we are going to have things that are a little bit inflammatory. Because some of these foods are pleasurable foods and we don't want to cut them out completely, but just making sure that they are not the predominant foods in our diet. Managing stress. This is so important because stress 100% contributes to inflammation in the body, as well as managing negative emotions and prioritizing movement and being outdoors. And so as you can see there, I did say manage stress and negative emotions. I didn't say don't have stress and negative emotions because we all do. And it's impossible not to have them, but it's the tools that we use in order to cope with stress and to cope with these emotions. This is going to actually impact how our body reacts to particular situations and the amount of inflammatory compounds that we release into our body. And then the last one is taking a stem cell supporting supplement. So I would recommend, in addition to all of the things that I just discussed, making SC12 a part of your daily routine because this will definitely positively impact stem cell production. And in summary, so going back to our why, our who, and our ask. So why might you want to take the supplement? So you might want to take it if you want to boost energy levels, stamina, and overall feelings of well-being. Who is the supplement for? Anyone who is interested in thriving every single day. And then your ask to consider whether you are somebody who should be taking it. So for people, if they've ever considered their cellular health and what they can do to support it, and if you are not somebody that has considered or had not considered your cellular health, hopefully this presentation has changed that. So thank you for listening. And for any questions or additional support, you can always contact us at support@esprita.com and we can definitely answer any questions for you.